Welcome back to normal baseball. The Dodgers have swept the Angels in the first edition of the Freeway Series. The Reds and Giants are both on 10 plus game win streaks, and All Star voting phase one ends tomorrow. Is the voting system fair or not? We're going to talk about all that today. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And first things first, the Freeway Series. The
Yeah,
Dodgers have swept the Angels in the first edition of the Freeway Series this season. The Battle of LA, as some may say, in Anaheim. Dodgers sweep on the road. The Angels came into the series pretty hot, looking pretty good. Dodgers came into the series kind of in the middle of the water, not great. And the Dodgers flipped the switch and they took over on the Angels and they won the series. What do we think? I mean, the Angels, bad luck, I want to say, because you're losing two at home to your LA rivals. You lose the Otani game, which was last night. Otani went 7 innings with only one earned run and 12 strikeouts. You lose that game 2-0. They lost both games 2-0. So they didn't even score against the Dodgers. Tough time in Anaheim, but a fun time in LA. So I don't know. What do you think?
I will say it looks like more of a positive thing than you might think. Only holding that Dodgers offense to 2 runs for the Angels is a good sign. It definitely shows that they are not a team that is just going to roll over. Of course, at their first sign of competition, really, in real competition, you're talking about a playoff caliber. Honestly, what might even be World Series caliber, depending on what goes on after the trade deadline. Team in the Dodgers, and they come in and they immediately are able to hold into a 2 run game, having an all time pitching performance by Otani so far this season, where he goes 7 1/3, I think, with 12 strikeouts and one earned run.
Just seven.
Just seven? Yeah, so he goes 7 with 12 strikeouts. I mean, he looked great. Of course, the one mistake pitch, a pitch to Freddie Freeman, who already a hit machine, and he became a homer machine for that one pitch. So good for him. I do think, though, what?
Hit machine, but he became a homer machine for that one pitch.
He
He's still a
did?
hit machine.
No, 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 no. Homers and hits are different. But
No.
I will say that if I am the Angels, I really take a look at the lineup and I take a look at how some guys are performing and really think about making some tough decisions. You have guys like Jared Walsh who are hitting 119 on the season, who genuinely it when you watch their at bats and you look at the box score, they look like a detriment to the team. And if you're the Angels and you're getting what has so far been a very successful season, and you're not able to turn that and convert that into wins or a playoff chase because you have a guy like Jared Walsh who essentially is guaranteeing himself a strikeout every time he steps into the box, it's not a good look. And I think we both know Jared Walsh as a hitter to feel comfortable in saying he is usually a mid to high 200s average hitter with like a good OPS, and so far his numbers are just all in the absolute gutter this season. And I wish that he could figure out some way to turn it around, because Jared Walsh can be a very, very crucial part to this offense for the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. First of all, Jared Walsh, he's only played in 27 games this season, so it's not like he's playing every day. It's not like he's been playing every day. And I don't think this is the only reason that the Angels have had their struggles this season. I wouldn't blame it on Jared Walsh for them losing this series.
Well, no, I'm not blaming just Jared Walsh.
Don't get me wrong, they lost 2-0 in both games. Kershaw absolutely dominated them, which we talked about yesterday. And then yesterday they got blanked by the Dodgers bullpen. Brusdar Graterol and the entire Dodgers bullpen just blanked them. And it's not like Jared Walsh just went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Trout went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Otani went 0 for 3 with a walk. No one had a hit in this lineup except for Luis Rengifo. He had 2 hits, and that was both of the Angels' hits this entire game.
Yeah.
So have that as you will. Rengifo's batting 209 too, so it's not like Rengifo's been one of their good hitters. Mm-hmm. So the Dodgers, if you really think about it, if Rengifo didn't have if Rengifo played like he has been most of the season and was blanked,
Yeah.
this could have been a bullpen game no hitter. So I don't know. I think it is pretty concerning for the Angels on the hitting side. And like you said, yes, they did only hold the Dodgers to 4 runs total in 2 games. They lost 2-0 both times.
But they couldn't do anything.
But that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse if you're an Angels fan. You still can't win when you're holding a really good Dodgers lineup to 2 runs a game. You can They just didn't score anything. And a loss is a loss at the end of the day. So who cares if it was 10-0 or 2-0? You still didn't score,
Yeah.
you know? Just
No, I
it
completely
was
agree with you,
horrible.
but I will say that usually in years past when the Angels have this sort of they're looking like a very good baseball team and looking confident, and then they run into a good, competent, almost sure shot playoff team, it feels like they immediately keel over and they lose in horrible fashion. Yes, the second game was a pretty bad loss, but like especially with the Shohei Ohtani start. But like I said, the positive side of it is that you held one of the best and most talented offenses in baseball to 4 runs over the course of 2 games. So if you can figure out your offense, then going into the next time they play each other, you're talking about a very, very good matchup.
Yeah, no, the second time they play each other is soon too. It's in 3 weeks, July 7th and 8th. So before the All Star break, we see these teams play twice. The next matchup is in LA, which I kind of don't like. I kind of don't like it. Dodgers Angels in the second half would be kind of cool because we get to see these teams kind of see more of who they are. See if maybe both of them are still in the playoff race. That would be a really fun matchup if they are. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of them playing 3 weeks after the first series. You
Nor
know?
am I, but I feel like that's how the scheduling has been for a lot of teams this season so far. Of you go in, you play a team, and then you wait a week or two, and for the Dodgers Angels it's 3, and then you go and immediately play them again. I feel like that's how it's been, especially for a lot of the interleague matchups. So, what are you gonna do? That's the schedule. It's really not the end of the world. We will still see these guys face off. However, if it were after the All Star break, I feel like Shohei Ohtani would have more of a chance to start. I don't know if he's lined up to start that
I
one of
think
those
he
two
I think
games,
he is. I think
but
he is. Yeah.
maybe he might rest and pitch in the All Star game instead. We'll have to wait and see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he will probably pitch one of those games.
All right,
If
I
my
hope so.
if if my turkey math is correct here, he should be pitching one of those games. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for that matchup. I guess it is what it is with the schedule. Like you said, I just wish we saw this maybe later in the season. Late August would have been nice.
Yeah.
But whatever.
What are
Now
you
this
gonna do?
raises the question of yes, the Dodgers did sweep the Angels, won both games, but who is the better LA team this year? The Dodgers or the Angels?
I wish I could give you a sure shot answer. It feels like the Angels have been more of a uh, you know taking care of business team. Where in seasons past we could say, oh, they'll lose 2 out of 3 to the Oakland Athletics somehow, or oh, they might split a series with the Royals or the White Sox. This season, it feels like when they're favored in a series, they go in and they at least win the series. The Dodgers feel the same way, and they have almost the same record for a reason. However, right now, because the Angels do have the best player in all of baseball, I think we have to give the upper hand to the Angels.
You're gonna say the Angels are better than the Dodgers this season?
At this moment, on June 22nd, 2023, I am going to say that.
I'm gonna disagree. I think that the Dodgers are the better team here still, as it has been for the last however many years. They have more of the star power. Yes, I know that they have Trout and Otani, the Angels, but you look at this Dodgers lineup, and it's kind of that feeling of why aren't they the team with the best record in the league? And I understand that maybe they've underperformed a little bit, but they still have a better record than the Angels at this point, and some of their guys have underperformed so far. Like their rookies, their big rookies have kind of fizzled out a little bit. Miguel Vargas is hitting 207. James Outman, who had a brilliant start to the year, is only batting 230. Michael Busch is batting 194. So their stars are really carrying this team, which is, what you would kind of expect. And their pitching's been absolutely phenomenal. Clayton Kershaw has been dominant this season. Brusdar Graterol and their entire bullpen, who blanked the Angels in Game 2, have been pretty good this season. I don't know. I just think the Dodgers are still overall the better team. Kind of like a big brother, little brother kind of situation,
Well, it seems like the only clear way to get an answer then would be to wait until they play each other next time in 3 weeks.
Well, they played each other this time. Dodgers won both.
I'm still split. I would lean Angels.
Well, no, you're
simply
not split.
Because of Shohei Ohtani.
I disagree.
You never know. Maybe next time they play each other, Shohei's on the other side.
No, Shohei couldn't save them. Shohei couldn't save them this series. Even a 7 innings, 1 earned run, 12 strikeout couldn't save them. So I don't know.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Discouraging. The Angels are 6 games back of first place right now, 41-35. The Dodgers are 3.5 games back at 41-33. And right in front of the Dodgers are the San Francisco Giants, who are now on a 10-game win streak. Absolutely incredible. Love that for the Giants. They just swept the Padres, 3-game series, which was at the beginning of the week, we set a pretty big series for both of these teams to see, are the Giants going to stay on a roll, or are the Padres finally going to somewhat get back on track? And the Giants walk off Game 1 and 2, and then Game 3, they just flat out win.
Yeah.
There was I don't know if you saw in Game 3, the game yesterday, I don't know if you saw the blocking call from Gary Sanchez. I feel like we've had so many blocking calls in the last couple of days with Jonah Heim and now Gary Sanchez. The Gary Sanchez one was definitely
very
blocking.
clearly blocking, yes.
And the Giants went on to score 2 more runs that inning, so they scored 3 total runs from that blocking call. Or they scored 4 runs that inning, but they scored 3 runs just from that blocking call, and they won 4-2. So that was a big moment in that game. But they just seem to find ways to get it done. They're not dominating teams, I wouldn't say. I mean, they did in a couple of times for the Dodgers, but especially in this Padres series, they didn't really dominate them at all. They just found ways to win. Walk-off homer, Mike Yastrzemski, walk-off walk, and now the blocking call that pretty much won them the game. So It was a really good series for the Giants. Really good series.
So
in turn,
the question that I want to propose to you, and I would love to hear your answer because of how much you are a fan of the underdog and how much you are a fan of usually the superstars. Was this more of the Giants found ways to win, or was this the Padres finding ways to lose, as they really have been doing all season?
I'm going to say more of the Giants finding ways to win. Maybe not necessarily in Game 3, because that blocking call was Gary Sanchez's fault. But in Game 1 and 2, the Padres.
So in Game 2, there was a walk-off walk.
Still got to work the walk.
Okay. I definitely.
Why? Do you disagree that
I feel
the Padres?
I feel the opposite way. It feels like this series, the Padres kept finding a way to lose the game. I mean, you go 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position in Game 3. Not a good look. And like we said, Game 3 was, yes, Gary Sanchez's fault. But then, next day, the day before, my apologies, they go 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. It just feels like they're not able to get it done. They left 10 men on base in the second game. What are they doing? What are the Padres doing?
But that could be argued about any series, Of course, the other team's going to have stuff that is reasons that they lost.
Right, but you're talking about a superstar lineup in the Padres where they should be able to get those runs across. I'm not saying every time, but there should be a good percentage of times.
But they haven't at all this season. They haven't done that at all this season. So it's not like just this series they're just randomly not scoring with runners in scoring position. It feels like all year that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
That's why they're 4 games under 500 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, it felt like the Giants just tie game 10th inning. two runners get on, and then that's all Mike Yastrzemski right there. That's him hitting that bomb. That I don't know. And then the walk, you still have to work your counts. It was Josh Hader, who's been the best reliever in baseball so far this year,
Second best.
or whatever. He's been one of the best. I'm not ranking them right now, but you still have to work your counts against a guy like that. I feel like it was just good play by the Giants. Maybe not necessarily in that third game, because if the blocking call never happened, we're not really talking about a Giants win right now, I don't think. But it is what it is.
Hey, that's baseball.
Darvish.
That's baseball.
That's baseball, Susan. Yeah. Well, what was it? Yeah, so
Darvish.
they're on a 10. Oh yeah, well, Darvish. They're on a 10-game win streak, 2.5 games back of first place. Good for the Giants. Can we give them a round of applause really quick?
Round of applause for the Giants. 10-game win streak. Attaboy.
You know who else is on a win streak?
Oh, let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it.
America's team, your Cincinnati Reds, are on an 11-game win streak. So one more than the Giants. An 11-game win streak after they swept the Rockies, took the third game of the series 5-3. They're 5 games over 500. They're in first place in the NL Central by a game and a half. Everything is looking good in Cincinnati right now. It just feels like they are a freight train, and they're ready to face whoever you put against them. Fun times in Cincinnati right now.
Oh, totally. Could not agree with you more. The Reds have been nothing short of a spectacular display, and if you ever get the chance to look at it, and I speak to the audience as well as you can see they are paying absolutely nobody. Like, I think it's like the third highest player on their roster is Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, fourth highest, yeah.
Yeah, it's third or fourth. It's like beyond crazy. It makes me so happy because the Reds proved that it is possible to do a rebuild right in baseball, which has long been thought of as something that's not doable in baseball. Rebuilding and restructuring a team around young guys and drafting and these small trades that don't mean anything and small free agent signings that don't mean anything. They found a way to do that. They showed that same mentality with, like, the other major sports and football and basketball can be applied to baseball if you hit on your prospects, and they proved it. I mean, I think it's fair to say they're the most exciting team in baseball right now. They're America's team, and I'm just looking forward to this next upcoming series that they have against the Braves. The Braves have been a wagon all season. For seasons past, time and time again, we've seen the Braves go face a team who's on a hot streak and ruin their season. However, for this Reds team, it feels so different. This team feels like they could walk in to the World Series tomorrow and win. Like, they just look amazing. They've continued to look amazing, and I am very excited to see them play the Braves.
Me too. They get an off day today, and they stay at home. Yeah. I think I like more for the Reds that this series is at Great America. Mm-hmm. I think I'd be honestly a little more worried if it was in Atlanta, because it's harder to go into Atlanta and win against the Braves than it is to host the Braves in
your home territory.
Exactly, being one of the most exciting teams in baseball. Fans are going to be there. They're going to be cheering loud. I think the Reds are very fortunate that this is happening in Cincinnati. And maybe they're also fortunate that the Braves are playing a doubleheader today. So they got 2 games today, and then,
Today?
Oh, do they play?
No, they postponed that game to September.
My fault, then. I apologize. Well, they do play today. That's my fault. I didn't realize they postponed that game. Or rather, I didn't realize that they put it to September. But I just figured doubleheader today. I don't know. I still think it's all the Reds right now. It's all about the Reds, baby. It's all about the Reds. Love the Reds.
Now the question then becomes, is this an NLCS preview?
No.
That's what the streets are saying. It's what the streets are saying. It might be an NLCS preview.
I don't think it can be, because Braves would be the one. The Reds would be the third seed.
Who's
I
to
don't
say
know,
that the
man.
Reds cannot take the 2 seed? Who's to say
I
it?
mean, they can.
Are you going to doubt your Cincinnati Reds?
I can't.
Exactly.
I just physically can't.
The
And
streets are
this,
saying this is an NLCS preview. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
these teams have been very fun to watch. I will give them that because Ellie De La Cruz through how many major league games have they played so far? I want to say like 11 or something, 12. Let's say. Really, since this win streak started, Ellie De La Cruz has been on the team. I
Almost.
want to say. I don't know. It's not loading right now. He's got 56 at bats, but he's hitting 321 right now. Like he is getting on base, and he's got a 923 OPS.
Ellie
He's
De La
played
Cruz
14.
has played in
He's played 14
games.
games.
Yes,
He's played 14 games, and I want to say they're 13-1 in those 14 games.
they might be.
Like that, difference maker.
Yes, of course.
I
It's Ellie
think
De La
so.
Cruz.
Yeah, I know. That's one. He already has 6 stolen bases in 14 games. That's incredible. Not to mention guys like TJ Friedel batting 320 this season. Spencer Steer batting 273.
Love
Jonathan
Spencer
India.
Steer.
I love Spencer Steer. Jonathan India had a little bit of a down year last season.
He's
He's
back.
back.
He's
He's batting 266. He's got a 782 OPS. He's been a big part of this team. Jake Fraley just came back from the IL. He's been one of their most clutch hitters this season. But obviously Votto just came back too. He's Joey Votto. He's fun.
It's true.
Matt McClain's been a crazy rookie. Tyler Stevenson just went 3 for 4 yesterday. Just no matter where you look on this team, it's fun. It's just fun. Also, Andrew Abbott finally gave up his first earned runs in the big leagues
Sucks.
yesterday. Yesterday he went 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, but 10 strikeouts. So you're still sitting pretty, if I'm being quite honest. And they won the game, so
Yeah, for sure.
not much to complain about for there. Can we give the Reds a round of applause because that is incredible?
Attaboy Reds. The Big Red Machine. Who said it first that the Big Red Machine is back? This guy.
Oh,
This
I
guy
don't.
right here. Let it be known. I started the Reds hype train. That's
I
what
don't
the
know.
streets are
Yeah,
saying.
I don't know if you. I wouldn't say you started it.
I will say my only concern with this team moving forward is their pitching. Like we just highlighted, Andrew Abbott giving up his first earned run kind of sucks. But the good
Only
news,
3 earned in 6 innings, 10
Yeah.
strikeouts. That's still a good performance.
I agree. But the good news is that there are plenty of pitchers that are going to be available at the trade deadline. And honestly, I would love to see the Reds go out and get 2 or 3 competent starting pitchers that could really help contribute to a deep postseason run.
We'll see if they do it.
We'll just
I
have
mean,
to wait and see.
I'd like to see them do it. Maybe a couple of bullpen guys. I don't know.
I,
I'd like to see it.
I don't know exactly what the moves are. When like later today, I am going to look into it. I am going to try to craft up some possible trades for the Cincinnati Reds to make for some pitching.
He's stirring.
I am. I'm stirring the pot.
He's cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking.
So I'm stirring the pot. I do want to see. I would love to see this Reds lineup with a like Dodgers level rotation, which obviously is not going to happen, but it would be something to see. And I really hope that moving forward, these Reds get their proper share of All-Star votes because a lot of players on this team deserve it.
Yeah, speaking of All-Star votes, we need to talk about the All-Star voting. Phase 1 ends tomorrow. Maybe we'll give our ballots tomorrow. We might as well give our All-Star ballots tomorrow. We need to talk about this All-Star voting because the system, it seems good because there are a lot of people who vote for who they truly think are the best players and the right players to vote for.
Right.
But then you have all of Canada who just votes for every Blue Jays player.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what are we doing here? What's going on here? I think the best example of this is Kevin Kiermaier being 5th in All-Star voting for outfielders, and Adolis Garcia, he's like 2nd in RBIs in MLB this season, being 7th. Masataka Yoshida has been one of the most exciting rookies, being eighth. Dalton Varsho is ninth. He shouldn't even be. He shouldn't be ninth.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. It happens every year that the Canada players just get an absurd number of votes.
Well, there
Absurd.
definitely needs to be some form of regulation if this is how it's going to keep going, because in years past there has been arguments to make for a good amount of these Blue Jay players to make the All Star team. You know,
There's still
no, there is, but this season it feels like what maybe Bo Bichette should make it.
yeah, and I think the main issue of this
I shouldn't
is
say
that
maybe. That's disrespectful. Bo Bichette should make it.
Boba Fett should definitely make it. The main issue of this is the voting isn't the first place. Whoever gets first place is the starter, right? So I don't know. I just have a problem. Like some of them, I see them making the All Star game, but I don't think they should be starters. Like Matt Chapman, yes, he's had a better year than the last couple of years, but I think Josh Young should be the All Star game starter for the
Oh yeah,
American League.
totally.
He's had an incredibly good season. He's in second right now, and yes, the gap is not that crazy. It's like 50,000 votes he's behind, but Matt Chapman having almost a million votes is crazy to me.
Yeah. And just to put it into
Yeah.
perspective of how many more votes the Blue Jays players get, if you look over on the National League side, you see how fair, evenly distributed, and proper, honestly, besides obviously some of the superstars who have been struggling a little bit, it is. Like, Luis Arias should be the All-Star game starting second baseman. No question about it. So he is. Even though there are better second basemen better like outfielders in
Yeah,
in the American League, the Blue Jays are taking over voting. I'm pretty sure Vladdy Jr. is an all-star right now.
yeah.
I love
He
Vladdy.
he leads the vote.
He's been great, and he is definitely a guy that I hope to see prosper in this league. He's not an all-star this season. It's that simple.
Well, I think more of it's Yandy Diaz's spot.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Yandy Diaz deserves that
110% Yandy Diaz. And honestly, there are a couple of other players that I would like to see start in the All-Star game at first base over him.
And what's his name? If you even take it away from the American League and Blue Jays, you're saying some of the guys in the NL too. It doesn't make much sense. You know, the star power kind of helps them. Like Nolan Arenado is first in All-Star voting right now, but JD Davis is like fourth, and he
He's
arguably has
having
better numbers than him.
Yeah.
So
There should
I don't know.
definitely be. I think the issue with the All Star voting is that the MLB, unlike other leagues, gives you 100% freedom to select whoever you'd like. Whereas in other leagues, they let the fans vote, yes, but they give them, okay, this, in basketball, this guy has 25 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's not an All Star starter, but he would be an All Star bench piece. So please, vote for him and maybe he'll become a starter. The fact that they aren't giving you a pool, like a specific pool of players to pick from, just makes it more difficult for guys to actually earn their right to play in the All Star game.
I agree. But what I will say as more of a positive is that they have done some stuff right. Like I think the NL outfield currently, like the voting, is what it should be.
It's
Michael
Acuna,
Harris. Don't get me
Carroll.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Michael Harris should not be seventh, and he might overtake the person in sixth. But right now, if it stays exactly like this, I wouldn't mind. You got Ronald Acuna Jr. in first with 2,200,000 votes, well deserved.
Yes.
Mookie Betts in second. Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis Jr. I think that's the right order for that. Nando's actually picked it up a lot. I don't think a lot of people have realized that. He didn't even start slow. He started good, but whatever. And not only that, but Orlando Arcia is first in National League shortstops. I think
More
that's
than
the right
deserved.
that's the right vote there. Obviously, Luis Arias is the right vote. Freddie Freeman is the right vote. Obviously, Shohei's getting his vote.
Yeah.
Jonah Heim should be an all-star. I'd just like to say that.
Totally.
He's 2,000, according to MLB's update of All Star voting as of like 5 hours ago. Jonah Heim was only 2,000 votes behind Salvador Perez for second place. So we'll see.
Yeah, and
Um,
Salvador Perez, I don't think is going to be able to play in the All Star game. Am I
I don't
right?
know. Maybe, yeah. He's. I don't know.
I don't
We'll see.
know. I feel like he's injured, then he's on it. I don't know. I hope that Salvi is just okay. That's all that matters.
And another thing that they're almost getting right is Yandy Diaz is not too far behind Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for first base. Yandy Diaz deserves that spot. He deserves that spot. That's
Who
what I'll
who's
say.
third? Who's third and fourth for the American League first base?
Rizzo and Nate Lowe. So I mean,
It
those are
should be
bad.
Yandy and Nate. I think that's very cut and dry. It should be Yandy and Nate.
I don't know. I think it should definitely be Yandy. After that, you can debate it for different tools, for different reasons. Because I mean, we can't act like Vladdy hasn't been good at all because he has. Vladdy's been good.
But he
So
has not
I don't know.
been compared to the rest of the pool at first base. I just don't think that he has been the top two. I think it's that simple.
Well, we could go on about this for hours and days. But do you have anything else?
Not really. I think I'm just gearing up. Oh, do you want to do the weekly ding dongs
No, tomorrow.
tomorrow? Yes.
We had this conversation. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, you're right. We did. Jesus Christ, my fault. My apologies. But
Can't remember.
yeah, let's go baseball. Could not be more excited to get into this weekend series of games that's going to start up soon.
Yeah, let's do it. So, that being said, we thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing. If you liked, then subscribe and share with your friends. And we will see you guys tomorrow. A peace. Let's go. Baseball. Let's go. Baseball. Let's go.